I'm sure machines are just out here trying to replace us all. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Just over a year ago, I tried out this little knitting kit that I bought online. It was meant for children. I thought I was going to learn to knit. It didn't pan out. It didn't work. Why did I try this? Why did I think this was going to be a good idea? And I'm pretty sure in that video, I said that I was never going to try knitting again because I just can't do it. However, I came across this. It's a knitting machine. I bought it online. I think Amazon recommended it to us. They know I want to knit. And if I can't knit, this machine is just going to knit for us. That's how it works. That's what's supposed to happen. The goal of today's video is I'm going to have a knitted product. I don't know what that product's going to be, but I'm going to knit something. Even if it's just like a slither of fabric, it's going to happen. I haven't give up. I'm like a dog with a bone. Okay, so this is the knitting machine that I bought. And I'm not going to read the title out because I'm sick of reading these long ass titles out. Just call it a knitting machine. But it's by Kaksu apparently. And this cost me 75 quid. I actually spent 75 quid on this. That's how determined I am to knit. If this doesn't work, I am going to be so pissed off. Like, you have no idea. So we've got some images here, and although it's a knitting machine, I think it's quite a manual knitting machine. So technically I am still going to be knitting. I'm just going to be getting assistance, which is something I do need. I can weave a hat in 10 minutes. I love that. Weaving in 10 minutes. 10 minutes, that's not a long time. Oh, but then it says 15 minutes underneath. A hand-woven hat takes 30 hours to complete. Are you kidding? Oh, I'm happy I've got a machine for this. It says on here, just use the knitting machine to have fun by knitting what you like, and it can also enhance the child's hand-eye coordination. Well, you know. Great. I don't care about my hand-eye coordination, I just want to knit. It's high quality, quick and convenient, knitting fun, easy to use. There's a little phrase here that says, you can knit a woolen hat for your child during the meal. What are you on about? What, so you're knitting the kid a hat while it's having its meal, and you're just churning out a hat for it? I don't know. Let's have a look at some reviews, see what everyone else is thinking. I hope it's got good reviews. It's got 2 ratings, but I can't see what the ratings are. But it's got 5 stars, but only 2 people have given it a review, so that's not promising. They've got more here though. Hang on, I'll click on this one. Yeah, this is the same kit and it's got more reviews. Let's have a look at these reviews. Okay, so this one's got really good reviews, and it's got a lot of reviews. That puts my mind at ease. So Mrs. Lee Sandland gave it 5 stars and said it's fantastic. Love this, so easy to use, always knitted by hand, but now I have arthritis, so find it difficult. Now knit at least 8 hats a day. Also, I didn't even think of it that way. I suppose a machine would be helpful for people who used to knit and can no longer knit because of like arthritis and physical difficulties. Zoe gave it 5 stars. Diana gave it 5 stars. Oh, look at all these 5-star reviews. Usually when I buy a product and I look at the reviews, I'm always scared because they usually have quite negative reviews. But this product seems to have overall pretty decent reviews. Okay, so I'm happy. I think this is going to be very successful, and I'm going to knit a hat. I'm going to knit something. I can't wait. I'm so excited. Right, let's open this up, see what it's like. I will say the box is absolutely massive, so that's a good sign, I think. Okay, this is quite a beastie little thing, isn't it? So you get some wools included with it, which is great. What is this? Right, there's a lot of parts to it as well, so I think it's going to take us a while to set this up. So many instructions. Oh, thank God it's not double-sided. That's a different language. Okay, so you've got knitting needles. I assume this is the stand. These little legs clip in. And then it also has suction cups, so you can stick it on the bottom so it doesn't move everywhere. Okay, so you need to screw these legs on. Ah, I've just realised it is so oily. I thought my hands were getting slippy. I don't know whether you can see how oily my hand is. It must be like lubricated or something for like all the parts, but wow. Okay, I'll have to clean myself up a little bit. Okay, so that wasn't too difficult to assemble, which I was worried it was going to be, but it was fine. I just need to attach the legs. And I do like the suction cups as well. It just keeps it nice and in place. So I think it's just time to try and knit. Okay, so just reading the instructions, I still don't fully know what I'm doing, but this is your yarn guide. This is 48 hooks. This is your handle to spin it round. You've got a setting here, which you can do panel knitting, and you can do tube knitting. Don't know what the difference is. And then this thing is your tension lever, and then this is your row counter. Yeah, so when I turn this, This little counter tells us how many rows I've got. So I assume that's a good thing. Well, I'm just going to read the rest of these instructions and I'll get back to you when I know what I'm actually doing. Okay, I've read the instructions and I'm not gonna lie, I'm none the wiser, but I feel like I've kind of got a little bit of an understanding of how this works. I think you also need to really kind of know the process of knitting to kind of figure this out. But it's gonna be okay, it's gonna work, it's gonna be fine. So the white one's the beginning one, and I know I was only setting out to do a little bit of kind of knitted fabric with this, but now I want to knit a hat. That is now the goal. The goal has moved up, way up there somewhere, from knitting a little bit of fabric to a hat. So we put wool in here, and you need like a loose bit hanging off for some reason. And then I want a tight knit, I think. So I'm just using the first loop on there, so that's a tight knit. The middle one's moderate, the back one's loose, and then the tightest is going in that one and then that one somehow, I think. And then do I just twirl? Do I just spin it now? And then is it gonna knit for us? I think that's all I do. I don't even need the knitting needles. I don't know what they're for. But how is this gonna turn it into a hat? How does it know I wanna make a hat? There's no hat setting. I assume there's gonna be like a little bit of hand knitting afterwards. I think this is just to get the base, and then I'm gonna have to complete the hat, which that's not gonna happen, so. But a hat's a tube, so I've got it on the tube setting. I think I just spin now. This is exciting, everyone. This is exciting. I think I'm knitting what's going to happen when it gets to the beginning bit. It's not missing a stitch either. It's getting them all. I almost want to cry because I think I'm actually knitting something. I think I'm doing it. You are shitting me. Are you shitting us? Is this how easy knitting is? Why does anyone knit by hand? You can just use a machine for it. What a world we're living in. This can't be this easy. Surely something's gonna go wrong. I don't know whether this is knitting anything, you know. I don't know whether this is working actually. That doesn't look knitted. I'll keep going, we'll see what happens. Oh, we're cranking up the speed now. We are speed knitting. Because if you look here, is that knitted? I don't feel like it's knitted. I think I'm supposed to like do a cross thing or something. I don't think you just put it through and spin and it does it for you. I was wondering, I was like, that's not knitted. No, I think I've done it wrong. I've 100% done it wrong. I knew it couldn't be that easy. I was getting all excited thinking I was knitting away and I don't think I was doing anything. I need a video. I need a video telling us how this works. Has anyone on YouTube used this before? I'm just gonna watch someone else's video on how to use this, which is very ironic. Just wait till the ads finish. I'm watching a guy called Mr. Domestic. I think he'll know what's happening.
It comes in 2 sizes.
His worked. He did something at the beginning though that I didn't do. Okay, right, so thank you, Mr. Domestic. I think I know what I'm doing. I get rid of all of this that I've done. I want to start again. Is there an undo button? How do I get it all off? Mr. Domestic was very calm and very just chilled, and he made things look very easy. So, you know, if you want someone who's more relaxing than I am, then maybe go watch him. I think I started it off wrong, but I think once you start it, then you just basically do what I was doing and just wind it. It's magic. He started to knit. The machine started to knit for him. So I know it's possible. Obviously, I think people who are already half decent at knitting and know how to knit would just find this really easy to use. But for someone like me who has no idea how to knit, then it's just a little bit trickier, but that's okay. I'll put that to one side. I'll make a pink one instead. Okay, so you need to start with the white. Where's the white one at? Where did the white hook disappear to? I'm sure one of these was white. How has my white hook disappeared? I'm sure one of these was coloured white. Oh, there it is. I thought it had gone. Put a bit of extra in the middle there again. Okay, so you weave it in and out first. So you go in one and then round the back of the other and then in one and round the back of the other. Okay, I can do that. So I wasn't supposed to put it on the tension just yet. I need to wait until I've done this first. See, I think this is the step I missed before. I just dove straight in and that wasn't right. What do I do when I'm at the end?
Back and forth, so I would wind the other way.
So if you were doing a panel, like stitching thing, apparently according to Mr. Domestic, so do not take my word for it because I have no idea, you would stop that that way, and then you would go back the other way and do exactly what you've done again, and then go back again, and then back again, and then back again. And that's how you do a panel. Blame Mr. Domestic if that's wrong, because that's what he told me. Okay, I didn't see that. So there's a little thing here where you put the actual wool into. I don't think I did that last time. And then you put it in the tension thing like that. I don't know whether I did that last time. Now I do what I did before and just, oh wait, I need to reset. Do I go the opposite way or do I go the same way?
It's on here if you want blue.
And then he goes the same way. Okay, and he said it's easy peasy. Here we go. I think we're knitting now. I don't think he does any other steps. I think this is literally, I am just knitting away. Oh. It's because everything's so oily it keeps slipping. So now I'm just knitting away as if I've been knitting for years and years and years. I will make my grandchildren very, very happy. My grandchildren will never exist because I do not plan to have children. Oh, my wool snapped. I wasn't paying attention, I didn't realise. That was my fault. I should have been more focused. I was getting too excited. But I think you can just tie it into like a little knot to start it off again. I hope, because I do not want to ruin this. Oh, it snapped again. No. Please don't do this to us. I was off to a really good start. I think I've fixed it. I think I'm alright now. Okay, I've made a little mistake. That shouldn't have happened, but it might just have a little gap in my finished hat. Hopefully it can kind of pick itself back up when it gets to this bit. I don't know whether that made a difference or not. That shouldn't have happened. That was my bad. Still gonna be okay though. That can just be the back of the hat. Ah, that's unfortunate. At the end, once you've done this, you need to know how to join it together, like how to knit. I thought I was gonna like be able to click like hat switch and it just knitted me a hat, but it doesn't. It basically gives you the bulk of the knitting and then you have to assemble it into what you're wanting to make. Well, I'll finish this bit of wool and then I might just try and tie it into a knot and call it a hat. Okay, so that's 41 rows. I think that's what you call them. But then how do I take it out? Okay, so I think when you get to the end, you just loop what you've made onto your knitting needle. Maybe I do know how to knit. I don't know how to knit. Ah, it's knitted very tight. Give us my knitting. I'm just gonna try and pull it off. It definitely feels like knitting though, so I am very impressed. I've made a scarf. I wasn't planning on making a scarf, but that's a knitted scarf. Oh, I'm gonna have to try this out. There, so I made something. That's technically an item of clothing. That's a nice woolen scarf. It's alright, isn't it? Considering I can't knit, it could even be a balaclava or a face mask. I've fully knitted something. I wouldn't know how to turn this tube into a finished hat. That's the only issue. I could obviously just like tie it into a ball at the top, but that would just look horrific, wouldn't it? But I think that's really cool. Like, that is a tight knit. I've knitted this. I don't know what this is, but I've knitted it. And for someone who doesn't have a clue when it comes to knitting, I am very impressed. I think this will actually inspire us and spur us on to learn how to knit. Okay, so what are my overall thoughts on this Sentro knitting machine? I'm gonna give it 4 almost knitted scarves out of 5 because I do think it's a really clever product. I think I was being a little bit naive when I bought it, thinking that it could magically make us a hat or a blanket or something, but I think it makes the knitting process like so much quicker and so much easier. I have never gotten this far with knitting. People will look at this and they'll think it's a failure and they'll be like, well, you didn't make a hat. You didn't really make anything. But this, look, that's knitted. I've knitted something, and I think because I've gotten this far, I think I'll pick up the machine at other times, obviously off camera, and it'll inspire us to learn how to knit. Because I'm so pleased with myself, I'm so happy. No wonder it was £75. You pay what you get miracles with it. But let me know what your thoughts are on this machine, especially if you've ever used one before. If you enjoyed today's video and you are just proud of the fact that I did this, then make sure to give the video a thumbs up. But anyway, I'll see you next week for a brand new video.